up on this week's Video Game Nation, we chart the rise of the Tomb Raider. John counts down those Lara Croft clones that didn't quite hit the mark.
And then the game starts and look, Lara's put on some jeans and a wig.
Our aspiring adventurers talk up the Tomb Raider franchise.
Sort of like a one-woman British museum.
And Dan, John and co compete for fortune and glory in this week's challenge. All that to come on this week's Video Game Nation. "2013's Tomb Raider rebuilt a gaming icon from the ground up. It took the Lara Croft so many gamers knew and loved and brought her crashing into the 2010s, taking on a whole new generation of players in the process. But in order to do that successfully, Tomb Raider had to take Lara right back to her beginnings, strip her of all her knowledge and expertise that she had gained over her decades of adventuring, and cast her as a frightened ingenue, unsure of herself and her abilities. The result was we got to see a survivor being born over the course of Tomb Raider's playtime. We got to experience exactly how Lara Croft started down the path to becoming the ice-cold adventurer we all know she will be. But was it a successful relaunch for the flagging franchise?
I was a really big fan of the Tomb Raider reboot, and it was a real surprise. I did not expect to be at all. Before the game came out, I was not hyped. I was like, I don't care. And then I played it, and you know what? It plays amazing, and even better than that, the character of Lara in that game is outstanding. Lara's so human in that game. That was something I was not expecting.
I did like the reboot, but it didn't really have any sort of memorable, iconic moments like the old games. Like everyone remembers the T-Rex in Tomb Raider 1, or like in Tomb Raider 3 where like the big Shiva statue came to life. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing in that respect.
Tomb Raider Reboot was a lot of fun. It was just a really fun game to play, like its mechanics were really strong. And Lara had a strong bow and arrow game, which I like.
I am a big fan of the Tomb Raider Reboot. I didn't think I'd like it, but I have. I've played for it twice. Obviously I'm doing a lot more killing than I thought I'd be doing. I think I killed more people in this game than Lara's killed in any other game before that. I was like, fair enough. It's all right. It's a new Lara reboot. She likes murdering. Fair enough.
With all that out of the way, you'd think that the follow-up, Rise of the Tomb Raider, would present us with a more confident, collected Lara doing what she does best. Or at least a slightly more experienced Lara enjoying what she will one day do best. But despite the game itself being much more confident, building on the ideas and the mechanics of its predecessor, Lara herself doesn't seem to have done much growing up. 2013's Tomb Raider was roundly and fairly criticised for taking the tombs out of Tomb Raider, a pretty important component you would have thought, but exploring long-lost treasure troves doesn't really fit into a story about survival. And so Crystal Dynamics promised the tombs would return in the sequel, and they have, sort of. They're still entirely optional, still pretty simplistic, but they do offer a bit of a distraction from the game's regular mix of exploration and action. The rewards are usually skills that add another metaphorical string to Lara's bow, such as enhanced archery or healing techniques. Where Rise of the Tomb Raider's real strength lies is in making the weapon upgrading and the resource collecting feel satisfying. While journeying through the game's many semi-open hub worlds, you can collect things like scrap metal, animal hide, wood and feathers to craft your own ammunition and minor improvements to your mini arsenal. In tandem with this, Lara's actions in battle will accrue XP that's used to unlock skills falling under 3 tiers: Brawler, Survivor and Hunter. Flashier kills such as headshots and stealth takedowns will unlock skills faster, and many of these work alongside the skills unlocked through optional tombs. In short, it all adds to the sense that Lara is a one-woman army on a mission. It's just a shame that the script doesn't really reflect that. You get a sense that she's capable, sure, but there's never a moment where you think, yes, Lara is doing what she was always meant to be doing and loving it. There's a lot of talk about following in her father's footsteps and completing his research, but there's not a lot of passion from Lara herself, aside from exclaiming extraordinary or astounding every so often. The Lara of previous Tomb Raiders was never wisecracking or fast-talking like, say, Nathan Drake, and nor does she need to be, but we still need to believe that she wants to go on these adventures, surely. The 2013 reboot put her in an unwanted situation outside of her control. She wasn't supposed to enjoy it, but if she's going to keep jetting off across the world on fantastical jaunts to hunt down artifacts that allow you to live forever, everyone's going to have to stop being so po-faced about it. And what of Lara? Is she still the badass we know and love? And just what makes her the iconic character we remember?
I think Lara Croft, as written by Rhianna Pratchett in the new ones, is a very compelling character. She's a person that goes on a journey, starts at one point, like mentally and physically, and ends up somewhere else. The old one was just a very rich woman who locked her butler in a freezer. That's not compelling, that's just cruel.
Like, I was quite happy in the first games where she said two things, right? She went, and she went, no. Like if you were trying to put the wrong key in the lock, no, no, no. And you know, as a mum, I say that about 500 times a day, so I feel like I could identify with that.
What I like about Lara Croft is that she's actually really geeky. She's super into ancient history and archaeology. And that kind of passion that her character has for this geeky old history stuff really comes through sometimes in the Tomb Raider games, and that's what I like about her. I find that relatable.
In whichever iteration you like of her, whether it's the sort of James Bond, super confident, rich adventure lady, or if it's the sort of more vulnerable, more human, but also more dangerous new character that they've developed for the new games, I think both are good characters. I personally prefer the second. I think the second is one of the most interesting and compelling main characters of a AAA game I've seen in years. There are very few games that can make me actually really think about and consider what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and how that makes me behave. And surprise, surprise, it was Tomb Raider that made me do that.
So, Rise of the Tomb Raider's plot and dialogue are mostly nonsense, but thankfully that doesn't stop it from being a pretty fun game. And Lara may not have hit her stride with regards to pithy one-liners just yet, but she sure does know her way around a bow and arrow. And shotguns, and rifles, and submachine guns, and handguns, and grenades. Basically, she doesn't explore tombs as much as she used to, but she sure does know how to kill stuff. Now, Lara Croft may be a little bit different these days, but she is still one of gaming's best-loved heroes. So it makes sense that there are plenty of imposters trying to muscle in on her territory. Here's John with his top 5 Lara Croft clones.
Hello television friends, high def, high five. Tomb Raider was released in 1996, which was back when American presidents still had time between carpet bombings for a bit of rug burn.
When Sonic the Hedgehog sped his spiky way onto the Mega Drive a few years earlier, there was a sudden craze of marsupials with attitude. When Lara Croft flipped onto the PC, some players acted like they'd never seen a woman before.
Some of them hadn't.
A phenomenally popular game with a female hero meant we got a rush of lady action stars. And just like with Sonic's lame furry rip-offs, the marketing departments went,
Hey, you know how you liked that thing? What if we made something that was a bit like it? But it sucked bums. Here's an obscure one. In 1997, Meat Puppet introduced us to Lotus Abstraction.
an adventurous 21st century lass forced to murder people by a guy who's literally a puppet master. It's actually an isomorphic action game, much more like Crusader No Remorse.
But I call Lotus a Lara clone because I still have a copy of the first magazine ad I ever saw for the game. And it says, "Move over, Lara. There's a new in town. Meat Puppet." How did it not sell? It's like someone's fed sexism into Google Translate. It's nearly a haiku.
Pax Corpus is a third-person game about an athletic lady mercenary with a British accent and a gun. A few guys on the internet call it Tomb Raider in space, but is Carly a Lara clone?
Well, kinda. I mean, she's the nimble star of an action game released a year after Tomb Raider, so she walked into a market another game had made.
But really, she's a reskin of Aeon Flux, the mind-bending MTV cartoon character whose PS1 game was cancelled mid-development, but was then completed as Pax Corpus. And weirdly, Aeon ended up being a clone of Lara because there was a terrible Aeon Flux movie made in 2005, and that movie got a game.
This isn't a third-person game about a hero. It's about a camera that follows a wiggling butt on its many and exciting butt-wiggling adventures.
Seriously, That's it. Something lady in the future, something constantly dancing, something. Look at her butt. Look at her butt.
We covered it ages ago. Here's a reminder. Is this good? No. One's about a British archaeologist, the other's about an American truck stop waitress who needs to murder intergalactic rabbits who've kidnapped her sister.
And yet, Space Bunnies Must Die is the title most influenced by Tomb Raider. It doesn't seem like it's going to be. It's got Buddy Holly and Steppenwolf on the soundtrack, cheesy 60s comic book TV art for an intro, and is a colourful mishmash of redneck jokes and dumbass sci-fi.
And then the game starts and look, Lara's put on some jeans and a wig.
She's a brilliant biochemist and the megalomaniacal antagonist in the Sin games, but that's not why Alexis Sinclair was created. How do I know?
Because there's an Easter egg in the game, possibly there just for sad losers, where you can watch her bathing in a hot tub. Woo! I look eagerly forward to the next Batman game where I understand that Batman can spy on the Joker naked in a jacuzzi. Also, it's 1998 graphics, so if flat triangles are your thing, your origami collection must be disgusting.
This kind of thing was popular with frustrated teenagers in the mid to late 90s. You see, there'd been a rumour of a code for the first Tomb Raider where you could see Lara without her clothes, which is why in Tomb Raider 2, if you enter that code, you get this. Sucked in, dorks.
Coming up after the break, we're unearthing the history of the Tomb Raider franchise, and the Video Game Nation team compete for the ultimate treasure, bragging rights, in our Tomb Raider challenge. We'll see you in a few.
Already shut up people. Now it's about time she takes on some aliens. It's the logical step, right?
Episodes of Monkey Life, weeknights at 7, exclusively on Pick.
Welcome back. Now, I've been a fan of Lara Croft from the very beginning, ever since she very firmly told me no after trying to pull off a particularly physics-defying stunt, to her shooting a T-Rex or locking her butler in the freezer. She is definitely a girl after my own heart. And Tomb Raider is undeniably one for the history books.
This piece, you say? Where's the rest?
I think Tomb Raider has got, you know, the elements that you need to be an enduring franchise. It's got a great lead character, it's got, you know, beautiful settings, and a bit of, you know, shooty blam blam thrown in. I mean, what more do you want, really?
Tomb Raider is the perfect example of a franchise that's managed to cobble together lots of bits of other franchises and then still stand out and be its own thing. So there's a bit of Indiana Jones in there, obviously. There's quite a bit of Prince of Persia in that mix. But then those two things work so brilliantly together when combined with this actually quite unique, badass female character who is super competent with weapons and super agile and able to, you know, solve puzzles, and that character pulls together that whole universe in a way that is just genuinely exciting.
I think the main reason Tomb Raider has endured is because of Lara Croft. You know, originally she was pitched as quite a cynical marketing tool. You know, she was a big-breasted female character who was, you know, looked good on posters and game boxes, but she's actually evolved into one of gaming's most loved characters. And I think that that recognition is what keeps Tomb Raider relevant to people. Everyone's heard of Lara Croft, and she's kind of grown into more of an interesting character as time has gone on.
Please come and get me.
It almost didn't. It almost didn't. Like the first couple of games on the Xbox 360 and PS3, it was like, yeah, they're alright, but I don't really want to play these. And then once they rebooted it, then it was like, yeah, this is the sort of game we want to play. It's gritty. Lara's like getting hurt all the time. Yeah, go on, Lara. Patch it up yourself. Don't need no man to help you out. You're your own woman. That's what I like. Well, your own woman controlled by a black guy, but you're still your own woman.
My favourite Tomb Raider is the original, and the original is my favourite game of all time, and a lot of that is about sort of nostalgia. And I remember one Christmas, like, playing it in the kitchen at my parents' house, like on this tiny television. It was called a portable television, but of course in those days that meant it was only that big. And I remember the T-Rex coming out of the darkness for the first time, and I didn't know it was coming, and I just screamed so loudly my mother thought we were being burgled. And you know, things like that just stick in your mind as great gaming moments.
I have to say, I honestly think the 2013 reboot was my favourite, because while the original games were fun and enjoyable, the new game took all of that and then kind of poured in loads of like Resident Evil 4 into the mix. You know, it made the game much more shooter heavy, which some people didn't like, but the shooting is so good, the cover mechanics are so good, and the fact that it was set in a gear-gated, open environment, wherein every single weapon you got was meaningful. I can't remember the last game I played where like just getting a shotgun felt like such an event as it does in Tomb Raider.
My favourite entry has got to be the reboot, mainly because it was everything I kind of wanted a Lara game to be. It had like humanity in it, it had peril, it had, you know, these huge like areas that were kind of weirdly mystical and magical and looked, and it had a little bit of kind of superstition about it and like some cool gunfire, and just, it was just everything all in one game, and you sort of felt like how you imagine it would be to be Lara Croft.
I'd like to see what happened to that old butler in the fridge, because I like to imagine that after he had been locked in a fridge by Lara Croft, and I know ostensibly it's you that did it, you can't blame Lara Croft, but it was Lara Croft, she did it, not me. I want to imagine that he went into the future like Philip Fry and had an amazing journey. Like he woke up in the year 3000 after being frozen, was like, wow, what an amazing world. But probably it's just going to be a CSI Croft Manor situation where we're trying to figure out how this old man got frozen and why he's now dead, as Lara Croft just sort of dips in and out with other countries' antiquities, sort of like a one-woman British museum.
I want to see Tomb Raider in space. Yeah, Lara Croft in space, taking on sort of things like Samus would do in Metroid. Yeah, she's already shot up animals, already shot up people. Now it's about time she takes on some aliens. It's the logical step, right?
I think it would be really good if we could maybe fold in a bit more of the puzzle and a bit more of the exploration DNA of the Tomb Raider series into this high-action version that the modern Tomb Raider has become. I think it would be really good to have just a little teeny bit more brain food in Tomb Raider.
I hope that wherever it goes, it's all motivated by what's happening to Lara's character, and that progression is right and makes sense. That's what's most important. It can go anywhere in the world, I don't care, Arctic, Egypt, doesn't matter. It's all about the character.
Who the hell are you?
Historically, Tomb Raider games haven't provided the best challenge material, but with Rise of the Tomb Raider's Expeditions mode, we finally have a winner. With most games of Rise's ilk, replay value basically boils down to trying to finish the game at a harder difficulty level, but Expeditions cleverly breaks the main game into bite-sized chunks, creating a variety of time and score-based challenges. You can also modify the conditions of Expeditions with Expedition cards, which can be bought with credits that you earn in-game, or with real money, because microtransactions had to be tenuously included somewhere. We'll be bypassing this slightly cynical inclusion for the purposes of our challenge and getting right back to what Lara does best, stealing priceless artifacts. We've set 4 amateur raiders, including me, the task of solving the mysteries of the ancient cistern in the fastest time possible. This could take a while.
All right, boys and girls, here we are down at the ancient cistern.
Come on, Lara. Okay, so I'm just going straight down here, right? Ooh, to that thing.
Just got to be up there. That's easy enough.
So I'm guessing the challenge is to get that thing, so I'm guessing that when I go to jump, this is going to go fantastically well.
Oh, this looks too easy. Why is this? Run! Run, you crazy woman! Get up there! No! Oh, you suck.
Oh, no! Ah, here lies the puzzle.
There is water. And where there is water, there is also an irritating puzzle.
God almighty, the safety facilities in this swimming pool are terrible.
Okay, we need to open that or something.
Water spilling out of door. Clue.
Ah, right. Petrol.
Am I supposed to lob this? Take that door. Ah.
Here we go, folks. I'm going to guess this is helpful to do. I unblocked the toilet.
Ah, there we go, door number 2. Door number 2. What's behind door number 2? Oh, here we go, more. More! If this is an ancient tomb, why have people conveniently left very contemporary gas canisters everywhere?
That seems like something I should jump on in order to achieve nothing.
Does it want fire? Will fire fix it?
Well, I'm guessing I throw it on the doodad.
Orders. Okay, so we can get up there. So, oh, okay, log. Oh, I really hope it's not like a timey thing.
Is it going to come back?
I mean, I feel like I can blow that hole up.
Do you want me to burn it with fire? Is that goal? No!
I feel like this is the beginning of 2001 where like the monkey touches like the monolith.
Right, yeah, here we go. You land there.
I hate everything about everything.
Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Ah! Ha ha ha!
Oh no, it does a little slope. Good thing, meow! No, you moved, you crazy wench! Yay!
Do I? Yeah, why not? Again, I've gotten all this trouble blowing up a door. It seems a shame not to go through it.
Right, so we are now in whatever the frack that thing is.
Another door.
Let's just smash some things. That's how I feel about my mum and my dad, and I'm just gonna smash this wall.
Oh, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. That was the glowy door from earlier.
So we don't have any more explodey things, unless we do have explodey things, but they might be in the other room.
Ah, that will be why there's more than one here. Okay.
Now, I'm guessing we can pick up the thing, but then do we throw the thing from the thing?
Quick, 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 quick! Yes!
You know what? Let's just get a few of them. Just in case.
Come on then, let's go blow some things up. You know you love it.
No!
Now, if this rebounds, I'm gonna be super cross.
Oh, the one I left there is still there. Like I knew this would happen.
Nice.
This is your moment. This is your championship moment, Crofty. Bang. Boom.
And now she drowns.
Good wading animation. Top work, Crystal Dynamics. Excellent wade. Hey, there we go. Quick, 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 quick. Is this the thing? Get the thing. Did I get the thing? Have I got the thing?
Hooray! Lara! Did a little victory jump there, just because, you know, why not?
Ooh, we're really close now. Quick! Hurry up! Come on! No! I'm losing time! Stop jumping because you're excited! I feel quite stressed now. I need a stress nap.
No, it's too easy. Oh, I came all this way for the Bible? Great. What was my time?
Well, it's about time for me to send up a signal flare and navigate my way out of here. But before I go, remember that you can join in the conversation via the official Video Game Nation Facebook page using a hashtag VGN, or just write on a piece of paper, attach it to an arrow and fire it off in my general direction. Until then, I'll see you next time.
Some clever family members, then usually one daft one to make up the numbers. Family Fortunes is tonight at 9:55 on Challenge.